I need a loser. I've gotta think of a loser for the end of tonight. He's gotta be weak and he's gotta be gay and he's gotta have no chance in the fight. I need a loser. I gotta think of a loser before we collide. It might be your and it might be too cool and they might be no longer alive. Longer alive.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to LoserCast. We're a few losers down for this episode. Most absent, Toad and Eldon both out this episode, as well as Broseph.
Yeah, I'm not here.
Broseph stuck in Mormon country, and Tyler busy having a fucking family like a giant fucking loser. Eldon is actually tonight's real biggest loser. Because Eldon has zero reason to be here other than that I'm pretty sure he's sleeping. So, yeah. That's...
Yeah, he lives in your room, right? So he has no reason to not be on the show.
No, he lives like a mile or two away.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody just kind of assumed that he was my roommate, but no. Bit of a new setup tonight. New additions include... new background. I thought this looked cool. A little bit of 8-bit stuff. I have another one here, but I don't know if I think it's going to cut off the text, so I got to edit that one a bit. But I thought that looked a little bit better. And then that intro, which I think we're going to roll with for a while. I might add some to it or change it around, but I like that. Featuring Toad there as our...
Yeah. I'm wearing the same shirt. I just did it. Or I wear the same shirt every day. You can decide.
Yeah, it's a little of both. But it's been a wild week. Obviously, everybody doing the holiday stuff. So I'm sure we'll get better updates from people once everybody's back on the show. But I had an interesting one. I made dinner for everybody, so I was the food slave for this holiday as well as I was for Thanksgiving. So
you were the food black, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you washed the chicken.
Yes, yeah, extra dawn in my kitchen.
You couldn't hear when like the oven dinged to tell you that everything was done. It's kind of a difficult way to cook.
Fucking goddamn it! It has to be the pitch of the microwave, otherwise they don't hear it.
Yeah. What do you even have to eat? Like, bless you. What do you even have to eat in Alaska? You just got fish and like reindeer and bear. Like, what do you eat up
Actually,
there?
I made raviolis last night. Tonight, I made. Tonight, I'm eating other people's food because the restaurant next door to me has pizza. So.
Oh, I didn't know where that was going. Tonight, I'm eating other people. Oh. That does go on up there, probably. You know, you just run out of food up in
Succulent
Alaska.
Chinese meal.
Yeah, the people are frozen, so you can store the human meat for a long time.
Oh, you could definitely store some bodies in some meat caches for a while.
It's like the Donner Party.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, there's famously, there was a serial killer here who locked a chick in a shed and then put her in the lake, I think is where he ended up disposing. Ooh. We have water here all over, so...
I only remember the one, there was an Alaska serial killer who was like killing people on bike paths and stuff, and then when he got caught, he got arrested, like walking down the street. He got arrested for some like public... I don't know if it was public intoxication or whatever it was. He was like causing some sort of commotion on the street, and they arrested the guy. Like, holy shit, he's actually the serial killer.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. One of the other, I've written a lot about these kind of weird cases, especially if they had to do with here, because it's like the documentaries I kind of was trying to make for Outlawed Thoughts.
Yeah.
One of them sent me down this rabbit hole more recently of this guy from New Zealand who came over here, right? So he has his car parked somewhere in Anchorage, Alaska, I think it was. Somebody breaks into his car and steals shit out of his car. Well, one of the things they stole, I believe, if I'm remembering the story right, was a USB drive. So they go and plug this USB drive in and find on it a video that appears to be him murdering a woman of native descent on camera. And so this becomes this weird case that still, from my understanding, is like ongoing. I'll Google this here.
So the guy from New Zealand is he like is he a New Zealand abo? Who is this guy?
Yeah,
He's
I found it right
a
here. I found the
Maori?
case.
So he comes over, the New Zealand guy. Somebody breaks into the guy's car, and the guy has videos like snuff films of himself committing murder.
So here we go.
But the person who broke into the vehicle, did they know that that's what was on the drive or no?
No, that's what's wild about the story. That was entirely random.
That's the only thing they stole. I'm just gonna steal this flash drive just in case there's something incriminating on it.
A murder, an Alaska Native woman's killing that was captured on stolen memory card. So a South African, sorry, got the place wrong.
Well,
South
that's way
African
worse.
man who tortured an Alaska Native woman and narrated it as he recorded a video of her dying was found guilty of first-degree murder on Thursday for killing her and another Native woman. The Anchorage jury returned a unanimous verdict against Brian Stephen Smith after deliberating for less than 2 hours. Smith, a 52-year-old from South Africa, showed no reaction in court and stared ahead as the judge read the jury's verdict. He was arrested after a woman stole his cell phone from his truck and discovered the gruesome footage from 2019. The woman, a sex worker who became a key witness during the trial in Anchorage, then copied the footage to a memory card and ultimately turned it over to police, prosecutors said. So the story gets muddled a bit because when that story was originally like going around, it was definitely that it was a found USB drive. And that was how the news reported on it. So that story kind of changed in court to no, she turned this drive in with the copy of what was on the phone.
Well, it was a cell phone.
Wild.
She was a hooker, so maybe she stole the guy's cell phone because she was going to sell it.
That's probably what happened. She thought, I'd get a iPhone or whatever and dumped it.
Probably. And
there you go. You imagine how scared shitless that guy was when he was home and realized his phone was missing?
Yeah, but why did the guy not try to kill? Like, I'm assuming so he was killing prostitutes, or they were just native women who were not prostitutes. I have no idea.
That's
why
murky.
did he kill this prostitute? Like, you're not stealing my phone, bitch.
Well, I'm not sure about that. She might have just gotten away with it without him noticing, or better yet, had a John, or had a pimp, which does happen still here. And if you got a pimp, it's a bit harder to off somebody without you immediately getting offed in return. So it's kind of but like, it's an interesting story. That's one I researched a while back when it was like happening and hadn't really read about it for a while. So, but that dude definitely a loser because the only reason he got caught was because A, he let a hooker steal his phone, and B, he videotaped the fucking killings in the first place.
Yeah, he's actually a loser, not for killing hookers or whatever. He's a loser for getting caught and letting the hooker steal his phone and leaving evidence of the murders behind. That's why he's a loser.
Yeah, by definition, it has to be the getting caught that makes you the loser, because otherwise you got away with it.
Right,
you were successful.
Right, then you're definitionally not a loser.
Yes. There's a few of those at Anchorage or in Alaska that are crazy. I mean, obviously the one that everybody knows is Hansen. Hansen was the guy that was flying people back and forth to cabin in Alaska here, and then basically in some cases just murdering them, in some cases torturing them, in other cases literally hunting them. So he has a weird eclectic serial killer thing, and he was being I think he still is, or he might have just died. If he just died, then he's dead. If not, then he's being housed literally right here by me, just a mile or so away.
You can go visit him. Talk to him.
What's
Chris
crazy
Hansen?
is there's people in that prison that I have to interview eventually for documentaries, and that prison is just full of dark place. It's a dark place. It's a maximum security. It's where they send all the worst people in this state, and we got a lot of them.
Oh yeah, I went to this. I don't know exactly. It was like a talk from this dude who I think used to work for the FBI or something. He was like a serial killer profile, and he had some book that he was hawking or whatever. I'm like, whatever, this will be interesting. I'll go to it at one of the theaters in Boston. It was pretty interesting. He talked about the different types of serial killers. He talked about numerous serial killers that he interviewed in person, including David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, and he had some crazy stories about that. He went to, I guess Berkowitz is still alive, and he's being housed in like this prison that's on some like mountain in like upstate New York or something. And he goes in to meet Berkowitz, and Berkowitz is like a 5'3", like old bald Jew guy now, basically, like, and he has a cult following online, and they're like all these cult members of his think that he's like this born again like Christian, that he's redeemed himself, whatever, and they all follow this guy. And I guess he's like obsessed with having people buy him snacks in the prison.
Jesus Christ. How the mighty have fallen.
you gotta get those Ruffles, man. Or I forget what the guy said was what is his favorite snack, but yeah. Yeah, must be a weird experience. And then you can take photos with him as well at this prison. You have to pay money to get a photo with the inmate.
Oh, that's wild.
So I guess Berkowitz like asked the guy don't you want to get a photo with me before you leave? Like what? And then I guess the room where you take the photo is like I guess they have it set up like they have different backdrops to it where you can pretend you're somewhere else. And
like fucking Sears, like 80s photograph.
Yeah, I guess Berkowitz was like, where do you want to be with me? You want to be on the beach?
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and Berkowitz,
everybody keeps telling me I gotta check out this new Seymour Hersh documentary.
Yeah,
I need to go watch that. Maybe I'll check that out tonight. I kept seeing people talk about it.
I forgot to watch the Berkowitz one that was on Netflix that dropped not that long ago, but he's not one of the serial killers that I find to be that interesting, to be honest. I mean, it was like, I don't know, there were just voices in his head telling him to shoot people in New York. I'm like, all right.
Kind of boring.
Lame.
You know? Yeah, you couldn't have done better than that.
You need a better writer.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a loser.
Well, some of them you're just like, really, this is all you got?
Yeah.
Let's see where we're at on the poll. I guess we can crown our winner. Oh, look at that. You swept once again. Hold it.
What?
You have you swept in the poll. You won. I've got it here.
People knew who Vince Call of Duty was?
Vince Paula. Well, I think it's just because that story went so viral on Twitter.
I didn't even know about it until Tyler told me about it, so that's Tyler's fault. Tyler handed me the win, baby. 2 weeks in a row. I'm the winner for picking the loser. Herod the Great got 3. It must have been because it was Christmas time, man.
Yeah, everybody, that's a solid meme pick for sure. So, yes, dumbass in the fast car who took himself and a passenger out. I mean, let's be honest, out of everybody we picked here, that's in the immediate the one that caused the most destruction. Guy literally just poofed himself out of existence.
Yeah, I mean, what he did was definitely the like earmark of a complete loser. So that's why.
Yes,
that's why he
solid.
won.
And we've got what we're gonna do tonight is, because we're a few men down on the totem pole here as far as picking losers, is we're gonna basically give ourselves a couple picks and then we'll discuss everything. I know that, and we'll go back and forth. That's how we'll do it. Right. But I'm gonna make pick number 1 for me, Donald Trump.
Oof.
I didn't pick Trump on the last one because I thought it was a bit cliche where we were at, but I think with the calling for Netanyahu to be pardoned today, that's like in front of him in the media and being like, he's a wartime president. What you gonna do?
Yeah. Do you have the
I-
video of it? Like he's just
I can pull it up.
he's been up there, standing next to Netanyahu and basically being like, dude, he looks like a puppet on a string, basically. And Netanyahu's just calling the shots, like, you will bomb Israel. And Trump is like, yeah, we're going to, or bomb, not Israel, of course, bomb, or Iran, excuse me, at the behest of Israel. Trump's just up there like, Iran, they're building the nukes. They have nukes that can hit the United States now. We'll take care of those Iranians. We'll bomb the Iranians. We'll make sure they don't have any of the nukes. It'll be the best bombing that we've ever done.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, like it takes a lot for me to be like, oh, you're just absolutely brain dead dumb. But to be in the ballpark of like you're calling for him to be pardoned.
Yeah, well, now he's calling for military action in Ukraine again as well, which he explicitly campaigned against.
Right. And so he's basically gone against every single thing that he ran on. And I still see people trying to justify it. I want to kind of maybe pose the argument that I made in my video on Outlawed Thoughts. I'll pose that question to you because it'll be interesting to see somebody react to that. Okay. But here's this.
Let's forgive the Prime Minister.
Pardon? I think you will. How do you not? He's a wartime prime minister who's a hero. How do you not give a pardon? You know, I think it's a very hard thing not to do it. I spoke to the president, and it's on. I mean, he tells me it's on its way. You can't do better than that, right? Please.
Let's forgive the Prime Minister.
So
Pardon?
He's a hero.
I think you will. How do you not?
Yeah.
He's a wartime
it's on a loop now.
hero.
Yeah. So he's a wartime president and he's a hero. Yeah. That's the commander in chief over here in the United States.
Yeah. I didn't want to say the N-word, but Netanyahu, he is a hero. So I got to say his name. Yeah, and I think the MAGA cultists are also a bunch of losers. I'm calling them the maggots now, but like if you, I mean, that's already something everybody's calling them. But if you, even the left, by the way, what, you can't call them maggots? What? That's a slur. You can't do that. No, but the MAGA people who are still on board with this, even though they voted for Trump, because basically they're not necessarily the Israel stuff, but they were generally, I think, voting against war, voting against having a troop presence in Ukraine, and now he's going back on all that, and you're not going to just admit that Trump is not doing what you wanted him to do? Like, how is that hard to admit? Mm-hmm. So they're all losers, too.
Well, and then you've got, like, this whole, like, I guess the contingency, like, I'd argue it's broken into two groups of people, right? It's broken into the people who are just diehard Trump, kind of neocon left or right-wing people in the first place, and so that's like your cat turds and like those kind of Twitter accounts and the online discourse merchants. That's just kind of how they run. Then you have the like people who claim to be sort of middle of the road or at least somewhat independent from the Republican kind of Trump wing of things. Maybe your Tim Pool, those types, who unfortunately will fall into this trap of you've defended Trump for this long, so do you jump off the train now or do you just ride it into the ground? And so there's a lot of these content creators that I think are being very dumb because they could take this opportunity to jump off the train, take a step back and go, hey, this is horse shit. This isn't what we asked for. This isn't what you said you were going to do. But instead, they'll just ride that shit into the ground.
You can be totally consistent, by saying that. Like, I believed this before. I still believe the same thing now. You're not doing what you said you were going to do, so I'm off the train. Like, how is that not that easy to say?
Right. And so what I posed in my video recently on Outlawed Thoughts, a little bit of a shameless plug. It was sort of a end of the year State of the Union is what I called it. And it was kind of me going over some things. It was only like 20 some minutes, but In it, I cover sort of a general question I've had for people that come from this stuff from the right, which is at this point, we're like a year and a half, whatever, into Trump. He's had time to do things. He's had time to get things in place and to put people in place. And obviously with midterms coming up, endorsements, all that. So the question I posed to the audience is if Kamala Harris had won in 2024 and you had what I would argue was a establishment Democrat sort of boilerplate candidate, which is what I think she was. I don't think she was a socialist. I don't think she was a, staunch Democrat. I think she was sort of a middle of the road sort of establishment quack.
She was just Biden, but younger,
right,
female,
exactly.
and somehow stupider, and a fake black.
Yeah, low IQ Biden is a great way of putting that.
That's really saying something.
Right. So the question being, what's the difference if she's in office? Is it better? Is it worse? And at this point, I can look at it and go, I think we'd be in basically the same boat. I mean, the economy hasn't gotten drastically better. We're not in any less wars. In fact, we're almost in more of them. Yep. And so the question then becomes, well, would Kamala Harris have handled any of that differently? I argue not really, but I don't think she would have handled it any worse. I mean, not the major things. Now, the border, that's the only thing I can look at that Trump did well, is like locking down, not letting as many people cross. But certainly the H-1B shit's still going on. We're still getting all the shit with the economy, and as far as the fake bullshit we just saw recently with this whole Walt shit.
I don't give them a win on the border. It's all just like, I think it's all bullshit. It's all posturing. Like they just, oh yeah, we have ICE now, and ICE is going into all these cities, and they're rounding them all up. It's like, yeah, they do some of that, but like, it's nowhere near enough. Like they want to do it just to make it look like they're doing some shit, but they're not really.
Right, and I think another important part there is that anybody, and I think we all recognize this, quite literally anybody, Democrat, leftist, any party affiliation, could have come in and solved the border issue. Like we all know what the border issue needed. Stop people from coming across.
Oh, well.
Right.
The wall. Where is the wall?
But so you get into that weird question where you're like, well, okay, well, like I don't see the immense benefit at this point. Obviously, you get Ross out of prison. That's the big thing that libertarians will hang their hat on. But you don't have to be from the libertarian perspective here. Take it from just the Republican or just the average independent voter perspective. You didn't really get jack shit that any of us wanted. So the question then becomes like, well, why would I then go support one of your candidates again if you're just gonna? Because now, whether Trump likes it or not, to me, J.D. Vance, all these people with Teal connections, all of this stuff, they're all dead candidates that will not win in 2028. I don't think there's any chance of that.
They're gonna. It's gonna be Vance who's running because he's the VP. I mean, that's
and I think he's gonna lose.
He will lose. They're going to lose the midterms. Yeah, all over. Yeah, the Israel shit for the most part. They're done, dude. Yeah. They're going to lose big time.
I think a big part of it, you're right, is the Israel thing. I think a secondary thing is honestly the economy, and right along with the economy is the war stuff, because I think people see those as being very similar at this point. If we're at war, we're spending money on war. That's not going to us. So that's kind of the same thing. But I think that's caused a lot of the issues, because a lot of the staunch Republicans, sort of economic Republicans, the older types, are getting angry. And they're going, well, hey, listen, like, you didn't balance these budgets properly. Gas is still through the roof. Oil's still through the roof. Still can't buy land. Still can't buy homes. So none of these people can get ground level investments. They're all having to move into gold and silver and crypto, and that's why those are going up so fast while nothing else is expanding. And so everybody's getting all excited about gold and silver and crypto being jacked up in price, and I'm going, that's not necessarily a great thing in the long term, because that means a bunch of rich people right now are dumping all their money into gold and silver and crypto. And that's all money that's going to leave eventually and be dumped right back into the economic market, into fiat. And when that happens, then the stuff's going to tank in weird ways and cause fluctuations.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm frustrated with Trump for sure. And I feel like everybody on the right is, even the people who aren't willing to say they are. They're like, hey, this is bullshit, but they have to just keep their mouth shut because they're basically captured by their own audiences.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, some people are willing to speak out against it, and then there's whatever. More of the anti-Israel right is all fractured now too over like Candace Owens, which is very weird.
Yeah.
I'm siding with Candace Owens, man. I'm sorry, like she's
I
on
just
the
had a
side that is
big-
not buying into like the Fed narrative. So
I just had a big tweet because the new thing, actually, I can bring that up on my Twitter, but I had a big tweet recently that I put out there because I was a little frustrated with some of the reactions to her because, I don't know, there's like this tendency now to go after her for being, I guess, mentally ill is the new grab that they went for. And
that's
that
always
comes
what
from,
it is. Yeah, if you can't like defeat somebody's arguments, you call them insane, a conspiracy theorist, whatever. Like,
well, and this all stems from Noam Dworman, who he had.
I hate that guy.
Yeah, Noam's a fucking character because I tell you, he's frustrated to me because as somebody who, like, you know, even if I didn't grow up in like a, you know, perfect Jewish environment, all that, I've always had a really good understanding of the religion because I, you know, grew up around some of this stuff, and then also my grandmother is interested in like the history of religion and all that kind of stuff. So as a young kid, I like cared about that shit. And then you get to like people like him who make some of the arguments he does, and it honestly, a lot of the stuff that he's put out on his show, it does a huge disservice to good, well-intentioned Jews out there. And I know that there's a bunch of people who hear that and cringe because they go, well, there's no such thing. But I'm like, yeah, I promise you there is. Like, I've met a ton of these people. There are lots of Orthodox or just like regular Reformed Jews who don't want to be involved in the sort of political world. They just want to sort of be left alone to kind of handle their faith. In the same way, by the way, that like a lot of Christians I know or Orthodox Russians or people like that I know want to handle their faith. And the way that people like him and other Jews talk about the Israel issue and this whole thing in Palestine creates an environment where it makes it really easy for people, frankly, to be anti-Semitic. Because you're like, yeah, if you're going to talk this way and cover these issues this way, then yeah, of course people are going to say things to you that you would consider to be brash because you're talking like a fucking idiot. And you're having people on who will say things like, yeah, just lock her up. She should be committed, which
and then
I'll
they'll
play
just
here.
continue to play victim, whatever. Yeah.
So this is the clip that came from Dworman's podcast. This is featuring Josh Hammer, our favorite little slithering bug.
I mean, it's
Not
difficult to know
this
where to
guy.
begin with this person. I mean, in a just society, she'd be in a mental ward right now. She would have been in a mental ward a while ago. I personally am a big proponent of bringing back the involuntary commitment laws of the 1960s. In my view, she should be involuntarily committed to a mental asylum. That's been my stance for a while, because what she is saying is so delusional and so nasty. I mean, this is the most. I mean, she's literally doing the blood libel thing. Like, she's literally doing like the 12th, 13th century. I mean, it's difficult.
So
that's why do they all sound the same, by the way?
Yeah, that's a good point. So
Like,
this is the tweet.
yeah,
This is the
it sounds
tweet
like
that I
Ben
was
Shapiro.
responding to here. So I talk about my mom here. I said my mom has MS, BSD, and a wealth of other diagnosed issues. Very important here to talk about diagnosed. There's a reason I mentioned that here, and I'll get to that in a second. My childhood and teenage years were spent dealing with legitimate mental illness. This is not the first account I've seen poke at Candace Owens' mental health. Everyone has their spin/reasoning, and they all seem to preface the brain dead take they're about to have with something like, quote, I'm not trying to make jokes about mental illness nor armchair diagnose, unquote. Of course you are attempting to armchair diagnose, not only with Candace, but admittedly your own father. Every popular conspiracy theorist or journalist podcaster who covers conspiracy topics has been called crazy in some form by some number of people at some point. In fact, I'd say that's probably the number one way legitimate conspiracy theories have been squashed in the past. For example, MK Ultra, JFK, or the Contras. I do agree with Candace or I don't agree with Candace or any single commentator or journalist covering the assassination of Charlie Kirk or Israel right now, but they aren't mentally ill for their coverage / journalism. As for paranoia, yeah, I'd have real concern if I was in the same spot as Candace. Not only is the stuff she's covering touching on the French government, Israeli government, our government, and a massive political org. This comes at a time when there's been multiple public assassinations. You don't have to be paranoid of governments. You have to worry about all the insane people who are following along, becoming radicalized idiots. If you want to attack Candace because you don't like her, you think she's wrong, great, have genuine points. But this is just plain gross. And this is responding to this bitch here, who went on this basically saying, I think my dad was mentally ill, so Candace Owens is mentally ill. That's the gist of the tweet.
Yeah, I don't even know who that bitch is, but yeah. Right.
Some random fucking X account. None of them.
She probably blocked me. Josh Hammer blocked me. All these people blocked me.
Well, Gnome is an interesting one. Gnome got stirred up by one of our resident losers here, who is in the chat now.
Tyler, dude. Why,
Tyler.
If he's in the chat, how is he not on the show right now? He's a fucking loser.
You bastard. Everybody go pelt him on Twitter.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tyler's been getting into it with Gnome on Twitter here, back and forth. I saw some of that. Gnome is one of those special butterflies. I find him incredibly dumb. He is kind of a legend. Some of his past in some of the stuff he's done with comedians and comedy. I'm actually far more interested in his co-host on that show, who, if you know Opie and Anthony or those kind of shows and stuff, is much more fun. Flaming fag, but still beyond that.
So he's like Anthony, but gay.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Anthony would love that description. Tyler has entered the studio.
Shit. He's here. What's up?
He actually showed up. Sweet.
Are you a bit warm there, buddy? What's going on?
It's cold out here, buddy.
It's cold as shit right now in Alaska, too.
Dude, Tyler might be the guy. Dude, I don't know.
Let me take off this jacket. You're right.
Maybe I should introduce another loser, because I have other ideas for the losers here, but should I don't know. Should I just do one on the fly here?
Go ahead.
How many are we going to introduce, though? Because I don't want to take up one of my losers with this.
We can all do 2 since there's only 3 of us here, since Eldon didn't show.
I forgot to pick a loser.
I mean, I've so many ideas, but hold on.
You could think of something.
Let me search Twitter.
All right, I'm going to go with I don't know if this guy should really be considered to be a loser, though. Here, that's the thing. But I'm gonna do it. I'll do it anyway, just because Tyler reminded me of it, and I think this guy might actually be Tyler. I'm gonna put it in the private chat right now. This guy's name is actually. He lives in California, and he doesn't have heat right now for a certain reason, and he seems to not be taking care of it, not doing things of his own volition here. His name is, I don't know. His name is Tyler Yonke, I'm pretty sure. I'm putting it into the private chat right now. I forget what the guy's name is. I think it's Ken Johnson, I think is this guy's name. Nobody's going to know what I'm talking about. Very generic.
Oh, God. Name. No,
He has a 550-pound
I did see
black
this.
bear.
This is
living in his house, not invited, uninvited, and California Fish and Wildlife or whatever is refusing to do anything about it. And he's just like, I don't know, he's suing them or whatever. So he's going.
Now, I can't show you what the Alaskan solution to this problem is because we happen to be streaming on YouTube.
It's
it
obvious.
involves the 44 Magnum shells that are sitting on the cupboard next to me.
Dude, this bear has. This is why I said that it might be Tyler, because this bear has taken out the guy's gas heating. He can't take a shower. He's got no hot water. California, the government's not doing anything. So what do? The only thing you can do is shoot the fucking bear.
So let's start with 550-pound. It's California, so this is probably a black bear. A 550-pound black bear is a pretty big black bear. That's not small. And even though they're docile compared to brown bears, they're fucking angry if they're trying to stay hungry.
Play this news clip here.
We have them up here.
Altadena home just before Thanksgiving and never really
Altadena,
left.
that's
I kept track of everything I tried. It would be, bear 14, homeowner 0.
California Department of Fish and Wildlife stepped in at first, setting a trap near the crawl space. But instead of catching the large bear under
They
Johnson's
hung
home,
chicken outside. Come on,
caught
bear.
the smaller bear, the wrong one. That bear was hauled away and the bigger bear stayed put.
Well, I was kind of sad for the other bear at first, but then I'm like, well, if this bear comes out now, where's he going to go?
Biologists later tried again using air horns to flush the bear out.
Oh, you gotta be kidding
Johnson
me.
says it looked like it was finally working until he says they suddenly got a call ordering them to stand down.
Very defeated. Oh, yeah. I mean, I just dropped because well, now what? It's all up to me? And what? I'm supposed to watch my phone when he comes out in the middle of the night or sleep in the kitchen and listen for him every night? I even asked, okay, so as long as you guys are gone, can I still use the bait to get him? No, can't do that.
Since then, Johnson says he can hear the bear moving around, presumably doing a lot of damage under his home.
I can hear the plastic being shredded underneath, and even one of the cameras picked it up, just bulldozing through it.
Wow.
It's a mess under there.
This video of a broken pipe prompted him to shut off his gas on Christmas Eve, and he hasn't had any hot water since.
I'm just exhausted from the whole thing. I get my mind off it for a little bit, and then suddenly I get flooded back with, oh, that's right, can't take a hot shower. I got to monitor the situation all the time. Every time my phone buzzes, it's like, is that him? Do I have to go and keep him away?
Calling him?
Now, Johnson says he plans to sue, accusing the agency of negligence and emotional distress.
Because this has gone on long enough, and it's something that they should deal with. I mean, it's a
California.
tag bear. They've dealt with it before. They chose not to euthanize it, and now it's back, and it's just going to keep on doing this.
I mean, he's right that they should be doing that, but they're not. So his only solution, although I get it, if he shoots the bear, the government's probably going to arrest him for it. Right. But I think that's the only solution. You got to shoot the bear, get some hunters, find some hunters in the area to come out, get the bear, cut it up, whatever. Get the bear out of your property.
Trank him.
And
you can
pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah, trank the bear. But see, his point is he was doing something, getting private people, and then the Game and Fish and Wildlife made him stop. So
yeah, so I mean, I can tell you if this was myself and I was maybe wanting to deal with this, I would take a 2-gallon bucket about yay big, fill that with antifreeze and chloroform, and put it in the crawl space and leave it alone. And then you just leave it there. So that's I mean, the kind of old school shit that people would do around here when they want to solve that kind of problem, because it just goes to bed and doesn't wake up.
we had a possum on our fence this last week. Ooh. Frightening.
Yeah. Terrifying.
You know what? The first time I saw a possum was my first time ever coming to the South. It was I think I was in fucking Texas technically. And we were in this random fucking
What do you mean by technically?
Well, we were right on the border of Texas going to another state.
Okay.
But we were
so
at
you were
this
in Texas.
rest stop. And it was this shithole rest stop that all the other rest stops were great. And then we got to one that was this shithole. And there was this horrible bathroom with broken old vending machines and stuff. And I walked in the bathroom and opened the door. And on the inside of the fucking bathroom, and obviously been there for a bit, was this fucking possum in the middle of the fucking bathroom. And I closed the door behind me and just walked away.
Alive?
I just left. I didn't even leave the door open.
Alive
so the
or
next
dead?
guy got a possum when he opened that door.
Oh. So it was alive, I guess. Dude.
It was moving around. Yeah, it was just hanging out in the bathroom. I was like, I'm not walking in there.
No, you're familiar with the concept of senior prank week, right?
Yes.
Wait, before you go there,
Yeah.
he just said, and the guy got a possum when he went
What's
in
up,
there.
JC?
Is getting a possum, is that in the Urban Dictionary as some sort of sex act?
Oh yeah, probably. Ask Dave Portnoy.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say to the bear guy. The other recommendation I have is the Smith & Wesson Model 69, specifically the combat version.
Okay. So Toad,
Great
finish your
choice.
story. Sorry to interrupt you.
Well, we had senior prank week for my senior year. That senior prank week, multiple different people decided to bring different animals in, and somebody captured a possum and let it loose in the school. And I'm walking down what we used to call the ghetto hallway, because it was this hallway where all the lockers were all busted and
Black.
weird shit went down in that hallway. Druggies hung out there, whatever, whatever. And the lockers were all busted. I'm walking down that hallway in the morning because I'm not fucking scared. I go through that hallway.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's a possum just there, like in the hallway, like runs by the door. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh yeah, it's senior prank day. And then there was also a goat in the men's bathroom, in the cafeteria area, and it like shit all over the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can confirm getting a possum, pulling a possum, neither of those are in Urban Dictionary, so we can create this.
Oh, there you
Ooh,
go.
we could.
It's when you play dead with your gay roommate or something.
Playing possum. Yeah, that's got to be a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bear, dude, first of all, I don't know what that bear is eating. And second of all, so maybe the bear will just
Plastic.
starve to death. But also, this dude, not only is he not getting rid of the bear, but he's taking the really Jewish approach of suing.
Well,
But
okay.
he's also not taking a shower, though, so he stinks on top of all that.
I'm going to make the legal
Loser.
argument that Californians going to make real quick, because I actually think they have a legitimate argument against him, which is that if bears are around in the area that he's in, and that's a normal thing that people occasionally deal with,
There are
assuming
bears
it
in
is,
California, yeah.
then you could make the argument that, listen, maybe people near him don't have this issue because they have stuff cordoned off a certain way, or they have enclosures around their crawl spaces, things like that. So they could make the argument of it only happened in the first place because you weren't prepared or did something that you weren't supposed to do or attracted the bear. Another thing too is, like, here, people leave fucking bird feeders out, and that causes a big problem here in Alaska, because if people will take like pine cones and they'll smear them with like honey and stuff and seeds, and the birds will come down and eat that. Well, they do that shit, put them in their yard, and that attracts bears into the yard.
Yep.
And so, listen, he could have been doing any number of random things that made that bear go, look, I found a nice comfy cave to crawl in. So that's what his crawl space became. I could see them making that argument. I mean,
So you make some really good points here, Leighton.
Yeah, I agree.
Comparable fault, which you think about, like his insurance company. If he's like, I've got all this damage, I'm going to file a claim. And they're like, okay, but why were you not securing, why'd you have this giant hole? What's going on that you just have this underground hibernation cave at your house? I don't even understand how this bear is getting in. I mean, I do, because if you have houses and basements and whatnot. It was a basement in California? That's odd, too, though. We usually don't have them here because
I think it's a crawl
earthquake.
space, but I don't know how does a 550-pound bear get in a crawl space?
Those bears can do amazing things.
I mean,
You should try it. I bet you can get in a crawl space.
Oh,
I've gotten in a crawl space before.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that I can. Yeah, and, dude, my parents actually have one underneath the addition that they put on their house back when I was a kid, and they had a black bear. We had black bears in New England as well. My mom ran into a black bear outside of their house at night when she came home, like, I don't know, earlier this year. And she basically described it like, yeah, so I got home and I like saw somebody and heard somebody like around the side of the house, and I thought it was your father. And I'm like, but he wouldn't be up like outside in the dark that late at night. And then I looked around, it was a bear. I'm like, whoa, all right. Like, but the black bears typically are kind of afraid of people, man, and they tend to run. Like, they're only going to start attacking you.
Oh, they don't like people. Yeah, they're skittish.
They're only going to start attacking you if they're like really threatened or something like that. Yeah.
So I came in late. I don't know. Do you want to recap your losers for me?
Leighton's was Trump, and then mine was this guy so far, and that was it so far.
That's all I came in too soon.
You did. You prematurely, came, yeah. So that means you're up.
I'm gonna spoil my show for tomorrow and pick my loser. Noam Dworman.
Leighton was just talking
it.
about him. Oh, shit.
I was just talking about this.
Yeah, Leighton was just talking about him.
What I don't know what you were saying. Do you want me to tell you my part?
Well, basically, I was more talking about the history he has as like a guy in comedy.
Yeah,
and like
he's a guy in comedy.
Yeah, he likes to hang his hat on what he does, but as somebody who had family who were involved in comedy to an extent, Gilda Radner certainly had her time in the spotlight. I'm like, I don't know. I know the inner workings of club life in comedy because I had family members who talked about that shit. People like him who came up the way he did doing what he does, they're not great people. Like, they're just not. And so when I see the arguments he makes and the guests he has on there that make the arguments they do regarding the Jewish thing with Israel-Palestine, the whole debate, I think he does a horrible disservice to legitimate good Jews that are out there. People who I know who are like, not your fucking crazy out there fucking people that are fucking advocating for bad shit, but are just like similar to like your Orthodox Russians or anybody else who just want to do their own thing away from the political bullshit that goes on within their face. And he makes it impossible for those type of people to stay quiet and kind of do that, because when you go out and say this kind of shit, like, it makes the whole Jewish community look like dog shit. When you
What did he say that you had?
More of the people he brings on. I've watched a lot of his podcasts because I want to get the other argument. Like, and so he's one of the shows I'll listen to get that, because he'll have scholars and random Israeli writers and journalists and people on there, and every time they're on there, they can say outrageous shit and he'll just let it go. But then if it was Dave on there saying something he didn't like, or if it was any other commentator on there, he'd be down their throat. And to me, that's just like scummy shit. And what it does in the long run is make anybody who has a legitimate argument on the other side look horrible.
So let me, I agree with that. Let me put in reason why he is my pick for the loser.
Okay.
Dave Smith has Scott Horton on his show. Okay. And they go through David Wormser's clean break memo. Okay. Now they play clips of this. And if you watched it, it was just a little bit, you may have caught this little thing by Dave, but otherwise you're just like, oh, they're playing clips of him on someone's show, an interview, and he's talking, they're doing long clips of David Wormser, and then they're just thrashing him. Then this morning, Noam Dworman, the owner of The Cellar, who I believe he was a Comedy Cellar. I believe he was born in Israel. I think his dad gave him a ton of money to start this thing in the first place. So he comes out and he's all worked up about this interview because he was the person interviewing Wormser, and Dave Smith was so unruly for cutting him out. And I swear to God, this is a fascinating thing that happened. Now, I was busy at work, so a lot of this missed me, but because, I do real stuff. But I go in there right under his tweet, and I just say, I said, thank you for making this all about you. And then he went crazy, rage baiting on me, blasting me as an attorney, all these things. And he's like, don't you understand? I said, first of all, you don't, because he responded about to this. And I said, don't you understand that you had Dave on at one point and you had all these gotcha questions and all these little, didn't do things in good faith. You don't get to then complain about Dave not doing the same to you, because his concern was that Dave didn't put him in context. And matter of fact, if you listen to the interview with Dave and Scott, Dave at one point, they start to play the clip and it goes into Norm, and Dave cuts it off and he goes, look, I don't want Norm in here. I don't want Norm. So that's what he said. And I thought it was funny. Now, Norm just then goes crazy and about making it all about himself. So I started to watch, because it was 2 years ago, I did a whole review of Dave and Dworman, the interview, and it was like an hour and a half, and I played all these different clips about how Noam would like gotcha stuff, and he was horrible. So I thought it was a pretty good show. So I started watching it again today, like how was this? And immediately it started out with Noam playing a clip or talking to Dave, like, look, I'm bringing you on here because you had said some things to me on Twitter, and Dave's like, yeah, I think called you self-absorbed. And I was like, oh, this. So I clipped that and sent it. I said, this clip aged great. Now he went off on me saying, I was nice to Dave. If you played the whole clip. I'm like, no, you're misunderstanding. This isn't about you. It's about David Wormser. And you're putting yourself in here. And then when people are calling you out and I play a clip about Dave mocking you, saying you're self-absorbed, you're still just in that mode 2 years later to the point where even the criticism, you can't even understand. It was fascinating. By the way, it was about 5 different tweets he was at me. Each time he talked about me being an attorney and how glad he wasn't. He was glad that he wasn't an attorney. It was the most weird thing. I'm going to go through it all tomorrow.
But
I was watching some of it play out, but I want to save it for you so you can go through it. But I did go through some of it when I was watching it come out, and I was like, this is fucking nutty. Because
scary.
Again, like, I listen to his stuff occasionally because I want that other side of things, and there's certain people who I don't interact with on the internet because I realize they're either a bit of just a complete grifter, or they're B, like a boomer who just is like doesn't understand the internet. I was under the assumption that he was sort of a boomer who didn't understand the internet. But now seeing it, I think it's a mix of him being a boomer who doesn't understand the internet and kind of being like, frankly, Jack Lloyd is, where he's completely like self-absorbed and
he's
like
having sex with his wife.
No, Jack Lloyd doesn't do that.
Well, he has a song that says he does.
Yeah, that makes me think he doesn't.
But it reminds me very much of that attitude of like the way he handles Twitter and social media.
I was more embarrassed for him coming after me, like a small.
Yeah, it didn't make sense when I was reading
I'm just
it.
like every once in a while you get these big accounts that like they take it, and then it was just rage all day. And I was like, I was at work, and I logged in later to Twitter, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And he was just totally misunderstood, but that's fine.
Just set him off. Yeah. I don't know, man. Sometimes there's some weird ones there. It's I got to be honest with you. That Josh Hammer, I played it earlier in the episode, but Josh Hammer being on there and being like, oh yeah, we should just lock Candace Owen up and just institutionalize her. And I was like, oh Jesus fucking Christ.
How'd you feel about that? Because I saw those two going at it on Twitter, and then I was confused. I'm like, it's like when two teams play. Toad, you're gonna love this. Like, and you hate them both. It's like, okay, which one do I hate more? That's how the conflict with Hammer and Noam was, right? It's like,
well, here's the thing. I think Noam was saving face. I watched the whole segment there.
It's Dodgers Yankees for me.
I watched the whole segment with Hammer, and Noam really didn't push back nearly as much as he made it seem on that. Noam's whole argument against Josh Hammer saying he wanted him institutionalized or her institutionalized was to basically say, well, then shouldn't a bunch of the Jan 6 people also be institutionalized? Like, that was basically how he argued against him, rather than actually saying you're fucking batshit insane for saying the sentence that you just said and ending it there. Somebody immediately pointed out that it's very identical to what Kanye West was literally actively saying was being done to him by people around him, saying that he should basically be institutionalized because he was crazy. It was why I
wrote a song about it, I think.
Yes. I did read...
Is that the one with the cousin?
Yeah. I suck my cousin's dick.
I did put up a tweet responding to some bitch on Twitter, which I read off earlier in the show, where I was talking about, because they brought up that basically another bitch saying, well, Candace Owens crazy because my father might have been crazy and was undiagnosed. And I was commenting back being like, well, I'm somebody who grew up with a mom who is diagnosed with all the things. And I can tell you that, like, people who are diagnosed with the shit that you're talking about don't do what Candace Owens is doing for as long as she's been doing it without breaking. Just not a thing.
No.
You know,
Whatever you say about Candace, I don't think it's a mental thing. I mean, it's what it is.
it's a grifting thing, is what it is. I mean, or it's a legitimate thing. It's a mix of those two. And you know, I think the problem is there's too many people out there who want to pretend like people are perfect. And so they go, well, Candace Owens is completely telling the truth in everything she says, and it's all just her investigating, and she can do no wrong. It's like, no, that's a stupid opinion. But also calling her insane and jumping up and down, screaming, you have to justify what's going on with this foreign country and what our money, like, that's also insane. Her going after the Kirk shit. Yeah, it's like, I made this argument in my end of the year video where I was kind of doing my New Year's wrap up, but I was like, I mean, how is this any different than like Kennedy or any of this stuff? And not comparing Charlie Kirk to these people, but more of comparing the assassinations.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I have family that were around when Kennedy got shot, you know, like I'm sure looking back on it, they would all agree that it would have been really nice if people had all the files released, all the information released immediately, had been allowed to have theories without being called insane or called conspiracy theorists. I mean, even the act of saying the mob was involved with Kennedy's death was considered, people were lambasted for being conspiracy theorists and crazy people. I mean, there were,
Now there are
legitimate
movies about
politicians who brought those arguments up and were called crazy at the time. So to me, it's like the number one way these people operate. And I just, I refuse to play in that ball field.
Yeah, and that was like a big part of The Irishman involved the mob being affiliated with the Kennedy assassination. Yeah, now it's an Oscar-winning movie, man. Now they can just put it in one of those.
Well, what's interesting, like the Kennedy thing, you want to Kennedy and COVID are two ones that, to me, when the government or the powers that be so easily try to gaslight you, right?
Yeah.
And then immediately you're like, well, that's when a lot of the conspiracies that shouldn't take off do. And so I almost think it's on purpose, right? You withhold a lot of info. I mean, I did a episode years ago, actually, and it was CBS at the time did a 4-part series about the Warren Commission report. And they did a whole break. Yeah, they did a whole breakdown. And so I watched like one whole hour of it. And the way they gaslight you is just one quick thing. So Oswald comes in, they say, he holds the gun under his arm, but he claims that they're like window shades or something, like curtain rods, right? And so they go through this whole thing and they talk to 3 different people who saw him going in, saying it's impossible, this gun doesn't break down. They show all the things like the impossibilities. And then they have Dan Rather comes in and he's like, so our conclusion is he took the gun in. And I'm like, well, you didn't play any facts that supported that. So I think it's the same thing. And the Candace part, the interesting to me is, like I've said all along, it's not so much there's crazy things about her that she says, but the pushback to me, a lot of it is not on the crazy. It's interesting to hear what they're saying is the lies. Like this new Mitch guy, it's like, oh, the thing is to call him a domestic violence person. Okay. Does that mean he wasn't at this place?
Right.
What's the real reason that you're, anyway,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think what the biggest issue is that in an effort to poke holes in every theory she's brought forward, they have exposed themselves for not actually giving a fuck about the assassination, but only caring about just besmirching her or what she's doing. I think that's the Tim Pool problem. I think that's the quartering problem. And I point those 2 people out specifically because they have previous beefs with Candace. So when I started seeing both of them align together to be taking shots at her in the exact same way, and then I went, oh, well, this makes perfect sense because these are 2 people who have previous issues with her. So they're using this as an opportunity to leverage that to attack her because she's also threatening their viewerships as she's taking a bit of market share from them, maybe, and calling for people not to subscribe to them and all that shit. So I think it was very clear to me that, like, there's this dirty business all the way around. And the political commentary world's always been like that. People just pretend like it's not. But now it's politics is like that, commentary is like that, mainstream media is like that. The entire pop cultural base has become that. Everybody is fighting on the basis of like belief or politics or where they're at in life. No one actually has real opinions. They just have like interchangeable game cartridges that they keep slotting into the like, you know, it's like, you know, I download a new software update. I guess we're all pro-Israel and want a pardon for Netanyahu now. Like, you know, like,
are we gonna pick another loser? Because I got another one in the hopper.
Yeah,
we
what
can
are
go around. Go ahead.
Did anybody pick Stranger Things or Will Byers?
No one has picked Will Byers. Somebody in the chat said it earlier, and I.
Will Charles, what's up, man? No, so are you picking the actor or the character?
Is there a difference? Let me.
Noah Schnapp is the actor, and he's a known Zionist, by the way.
Okay. Can you add this to the screen? I want to play this. This is there's a lot of these going around, but so this one to me is pretty good.
Have you guys ever felt, I don't know, different?
Yeah. Lucas, Dustin, y'all should start with that window. Make sure you cover it completely.
All right. Like have you guys ever felt like you don't belong?
Yeah, bro. Steve, you should probably.
Have you guys ever? You're gay, bro.
You're gay. We know, bro. It's like this isn't some type of plot twist you've been building up, bro.
How long have you knew?
We knew since the first season, bro. Every single one of us. We all knew.
Every single one of us.
Lucas?
Yeah, I knew it, man. I'm not even able to act surprised right now, bro.
Dustin?
Yeah, bro. When you eat pancakes, you never let the syrup hit the bottom when it drip off the sides.
Mom?
Honey, look at your hair. Look at your haircut.
Steve?
Gay.
So all you guys, Mike, y'all don't care? We're friends, man. Like, it's cool. Like, come on now. So you don't care I have a crush on you? What the fuck is this nigga talking about?
Whoa, chill, bro.
No.
Hey,
my fault.
Come on, Mike. Yo, calm down. All right, Mike.
Here, y'all knew it. I knew it. That's why I didn't want to say nothing.
All right, come on, y'all.
So,
That's
I mean, in case anybody doesn't know, I guess if they've been living under a rock, so Stranger Things in its final season, second to last episode. By the way, the final episode's out tomorrow. Aren't you happy about that? They revealed that, Will is gay.
For no reason.
Yeah, for no reason. It took, like 20 minutes of the second to last episode near the end of it for no reason at all. Like, we got to fight this, like, great evil here. But hold on, guys. I got to tell you that I suck cock first. Like, what the fuck is this shit? And we already knew he was gay, didn't we?
Oh, like that skit is. I've watched that so many times because I just think
he had no father. He had the Vecna tentacles like going into his mouth constantly when he was a kid, so he was like mouth raped. And he never had a girlfriend. It's like clearly this kid is gay. Like you don't need to tell us.
Well, as Milo said when he was on Tucker, he's like, no one's gay. It's actually trauma. And so you're like, oh, okay. That makes sense, even in this case. And he doesn't let the syrup hit the plate on it.
Yeah, right. But then the other thing is, like, this show already has a gay character, a lesbian.
Not enough.
Whatever her name is. Maya Hawke. I almost nominated her mother.
Ethan's daughter.
Ethan's daughter, and Uma Thurman is her mother, by the way.
Smoke. Show.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
is
Maya
she gay
Hawke,
in real life, though, this chick?
I don't know.
I don't think so, no.
I have no idea, but she's already gay in this show, and they didn't have to like make a huge like climactic moment about that. It was basically like, if I remember correctly, it was basically like Steve was hitting on her, and she's just like, "I'm a lesbian." He's like, "Oh, all right, cool," and that was like it. I'm like, "All right," but
there is another loser that I want to point out that people don't point out from this fucking show, which is
the writers of the show.
Thing. No, I mentioned it in one of the other episodes we've had. I didn't pick the person, but I just is an honorable mention.
Is it a character on the show?
Yes.
Okay, can we guess? You want to give us some hints, and I want to guess.
So
this.
another actor
Go
who was
ahead.
a loser.
Yes.
The black sister.
No.
No way. No, she's one of the better characters. What are you talking about? You don't like Erica?
I don't know. There's too many fucking characters.
I think she's one of the better characters.
The only one I like,
She's
the only
pretty
one
base.
that's redeeming on this show now is that new kid Derek. He seems.
Oh
to
yeah,
be
Derek rules. Yeah,
He's the
everybody
only
likes
one that's
Derek.
not a complete pussy that hasn't cried. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead and tell us
dipshit
who it is.
Derek.
Okay. So Derek Turnbow in the show,
Yeah.
the fat, kind of nerdy redhead kid that
You're
wears.
saying
striped
he's a
shirt all the
loser?
time.
What? No, we all know who
Season
he
5.
is.
Right. Okay. Here's the thing. If you do a little bit of research, you'll find some behind the scenes footage. That actor has to use a stunt double for running.
Okay, you got a good point.
The actor, the child actor has gotten so fat and round that the fucking family and the insurance company had to step in and be like, all right, guys, listen, listen, he works on screen, but there's a problem. It's a liability if this motherfucker goes over 1.5 miles an hour. we got a problem.
That's awesome.
So he has a stunt double to run.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Charles is contradicting himself in the comments because he already pointed out how I was 38 pounds when I was like 7 or 8 or whatever. Now he's saying that I was as fat as Derek. Those both can't be true. The 38 pounds is true. I was a skinny kid, dude. It was a problem. I was really thin. I was small. I gained weight when I started eating more.
What's up with this Bob person? First of all, Chuck Mangione, great trumpet or flugelhorn
No,
player.
Chuck Mangione died recently.
Yeah, he died,
unfortunately.
and
Not a loser.
We're not all single. I've produced many kids,
That's correct.
and I have a wife. I'm
Yeah,
so not
correct.
single. I've had 2 wives.
That's true. That is correct.
I've fucked at least your mom, Bob.
I have a harem of women, so.
Oh, let's not go there.
Well, they just happen to be chained in my basement. Come on, that's what I call them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Derek not a loser though. So, but yes, Will Byers definitely a loser. And then, dude, I'm really starting to hate
Everybody.
Brett Gelman's character in it. You know, the fat,
Oh,
bald, bearded
yes.
Jew guy.
Yeah.
Like he's supposed to be comedic relief. He is just such a fucking like
There are too many characters. They
annoying
just
asshole.
spread it all
dude.
out.
I hate that guy.
I feel like a lot of these new modern shows do this. I think they do it because nobody can write well anymore, and so it's like part of that issue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they go like you can't get people to write anything decent now, so we'll just keep throwing middle of the road shitty writers into situations where they have to just keep pumping out these characters to keep certain story traits going. But if any of them were good writers, they would just make those story traits into characters that already exist, and then you don't have to keep doing that. I think Game of Thrones, frankly, had that same issue.
So many characters. Dude,
Where
and the
you just
fucking-
started like, okay, we'll kill this guy off. 3 characters, new characters that you have to remember to
The
replace
Walking
them,
Dead
and then
did it.
same exact shit.
I
Yeah.
liked a lot of those.
Dude, I cried when T-Bone was killed. Was that his name?
T-Bone. Glenn getting killed.
Oh, I knew that
Glenn.
was gonna happen. You knew that was gonna happen.
The mom.
No, T-Dog was his name, not
T-Dog,
T-Bone.
yeah.
T-Dog, yeah.
Black guy with the do-rag, the beefier black guy.
Yeah. One of the
Yeah,
original
okay.
characters, man. Oh, spoiler.
Yes, I remember him.
And
I thought you were
dude-
talking about all the characters getting killed off the the mutants or whatever they call them.
Oh yeah, the zombies.
The
Yeah,
zombies. You're
I
like,
cry
oh,
every
too many
time.
characters are getting killed off. I like Zombie 10.
Yeah, right, dude. The other like loser, if you want to call it that. So Stranger Things already knew that the worst rated episode until this season was the one with Eleven's sister, the Indian bitch, and then let's
Yeah.
make her a big character in this season for no reason.
Yeah.
And nobody likes her. Let's bring her back. I don't know.
Well, I
dude,
feel
don't
like
know
a
what they're
big
doing.
part of it was they had to figure out a way. They had to figure out a way to set it up so they could have some spinoffs. So a lot of these new characters, I think they're introducing are people they'll try to utilize in spinoffs, which is probably what they're going for.
Yeah, The Walking Dead did that. I haven't watched any of the spinoffs, but
Well, a lot of it comes from a money thing.
I like
because if you
Negan
think
though.
about
Negan
it-
is a great character. Very
Yes,
complex.
For sure. Well, and in my opinion, like a lot of this comes from money things because these production companies, they realized at some point, all right, we either keep paying these cocksuckers to keep cranking out these shows as they get older, and as they get more famous, they're going to want more and more money. And so every time we do a reboot, every time we come back to this well, we got to pay these people more. We got to pay more to advertise it because we got to get people to pay attention to this new thing. Or we just right at the end introduce some new people. They are going to cost way less to rehire to do the reboot, and we use that same marketing budget now and save a bunch of money. And so that's what I think has spurred a lot of that. Is they're just like, it's just money. They're just like, oh, we can save $80 million in salary, and then if it flops, we'll fucking write it off as a tax break anyway and pull it from streaming.
Who's going to be the star
don't do
coming
any
out
of
of this? Like, who's going to be? Because I mean, the original cast, the main kids and all, and fine.
It'll be Holly.
None of them seem Holly, Max, but not. I don't think the originals have any ability to really act.
No.
You know what's funny is I think a lot of the people that have gained fame from Stranger Things that will long term see fame from it aren't the kids. They're the people that were in it from the beginning that are the adults. I mean, I think of like David Harbour, for instance, who certainly has gotten much more play since season 1 of Stranger Things blew up.
Sure,
and
he was
became
Hellboy.
successful.
Although
Yeah, well, and he was in Marvel now because of it. He got to be a Marvel character. I mean, the payday he got from that. So
Was
there's
he?
people like
I don't
that.
think I saw whatever that was, but he was also in Violent Night. Was actually a pretty good movie.
Finn
He's-
Wolfhard.
He's Santa Claus in that.
Finn Wolfhard and the Joe Keery, both of them are going to keep getting roles, primarily because Joe Keery is older than the rest of them, from what I believe, and so he can play.
Steve, you mean?
That's Steve, yeah.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah, Steve is a good character, man. He's one of the only characters who's actually masculine in it. And by the way, they killed off the better characters, Eddie and fucking Max's brother.
Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Max's brother, what was his name? Billy? Never should have killed him off, man. Billy?
I'd agree with that.
He ruled,
Yeah.
and Eddie was awesome. Yeah, two really good characters. And the more masculine characters, and they had to kill them both off. Even though everybody was saying Billy was gay, no. That's just what a man looked like in the 80s.
But for a lot of these people, they're just not old enough to really act, really. Like, I know that seems, but it's sort of like singers where, like, a lot of singers don't really become big when they're like 12, 13 because you hit puberty, your voice changes, and then 5
Michael
years
Jackson.
later you sound completely different. Well, no, that's how the only way you
he
get
was like
that
6,
is,
and then his voice
you gotta
never
cut their
changed.
dick off and beat them into submission, and then you get Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Billy, by the way, clearly not gay because he was like, wasn't he like fucking people's moms and
Yes.
stuff? Yeah.
I think he was, yeah.
Very hetero behavior there, yeah.
So what do you think of Winona Ryder? Is this a good comeback for her? I mean, did you guys ever see Heathers by the way?
Heathers is awesome.
They should combine this show with Heathers somehow.
I like Beetlejuice. Both Beetlejuices are
yeah.
all right. Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
not
I was
bad,
gonna say
but she's a little...
She's all right.
She was in that reboot for the new. I guess it wasn't a reboot; it was technically a sequel of Beetlejuice, and I thought she was great in that. She looks
Beetlejuice
great
2?
for her
What are you talking about?
No, it's called Beetlejuice because you have to say his name 3 times to get him to appear.
You know, there's going to be a third one now.
The most hilarious part of that movie was that if you've seen the original movie, you know the couple that moves in who are kind of like the antagonists in the movie, right? The couple that move into the house.
I know
Yeah,
where this is going.
the guy, they had to write him off because he's in prison because he's a pedophile. He's also the guy that played the principal in Ferris Bueller, that guy. He's always a villain. Turns out, dude, he's the biggest loser. He's a pedophile in real life.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I forget, what is his name
That's
again?
why
I
he was
forget.
after Ferris Bueller all day.
Yeah,
The thing I
Jeffrey
remember
Jones,
him
I think
as
is his name.
Yeah, and the thing I remember him as a kid was he was great as the evil professor in Howard the Duck.
Oh, God.
He is the main bad guy in Howard the Duck,
Yeah.
who gets possessed by the alien. and is chasing
known
after-
kids movie, by the way, Howard the Duck.
But yeah,
Howard the fuck.
Yeah, but the funny
Howard the Duck, where a duck fucks a grown
Yeah.
woman, and
Yeah,
you're just supposed to think that's normal.
Yeah, in
Wild.
Beetlejuice, they had to write him off out of the movie because obviously he's in prison now. So they killed him off in Beetlejuice, like he's dead now. And like every time they reference it was so fucking funny. Like those are
But
some of the funniest
can we
parts of the
say
movie.
it is the most creative way I've ever seen writers, especially in this modern era, of doing it, because
Yeah.
the whole shtick is they have his head bitten off by a shark.
Yeah, correct.
And so his body is there in the movie. And so you
With
get
no
the
head.
appearances of him moving around, but he just has no fucking head.
And his
So the actor doesn't
tombstone-
have to be
his
there.
tombstone
And I'm
is a
like, that is
shark fin, by the
genius writing. Like, somebody was in a meeting going, all right, what are we going to do about this? And some guy put his hand up and was like, what if we just get rid of his head?
And legal's like, look, we can't use his likeness. So,
Right.
hey, no head.
Problem solved. We're not doing the Spielberg thing with Crispin Glover. We're just deleting him entirely.
Yeah.
You ever? That's a Biggest Loser is fucking Crispin Glover. He got bent over and shafted. Have you ever heard that story? Either of you?
No, who's that?
No.
Okay, so Crispin Glover plays the father in Back to the Future,
Yeah,
and you're probably
yeah.
in your head right now going, "Oh, he was in all the movies," except no, because what happened
No.
was is he was in the first movie. They went to him for the second movie and was like, "All right, we're gonna have you do this, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, but I want a little more money because I'm a little bigger now, and I was in this first movie. I just did some horror films and stuff that were big." And Spielberg was trying to save money, and so they went, let's just not use him. And instead, we'll go to the makeup department who did all the effects for the first movie, and we're going to get them a fucking cast of his facial expressions and
Oh
like
my
a
God.
literal latex mold of his whole face. And then we're going to get an actor that's the same height and look as him, and we're going to put all that shit on that actor and pass it off as Crispin Glover. Now, when you think of the term stealing one's likeness, they literally stole his like there's
I didn't
no
even know
other
that.
way.
I had seen something about this, and then he actually sued.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a settlement. So 'cause
Yes.
I just had to Google that up because I'm like, now I remember this. Anyway, yeah.
It's one of the more fascinating legal questions that was like posed in the Hollywood kind of era, because it's like, can you just take somebody's face and use it in a movie? Like, and the answer I think would have legally been no, because I think obviously like unless you have a contract that states in perpetuity, but I'm assuming they don't, you got to pay them per job. Well, you just it'd be the same as like if I used Arnold Schwarzenegger's face and or an Arnold Schwarzenegger mask on a big buff actor for the whole, and made Terminator, but changed the name
on
like,
Arnold's son.
Yeah, you just kind of took his whole shtick to me, like
The
I don't
gay
know, it was
one, I
of
mean.
the- very
Did you know that Michael J. Fox wasn't the original actor for that part?
No, because of his Parkinson's.
I've seen
I
it.
remember.
Yeah.
I remember there was somebody else, but
they
I can't
knew because they
remember
went to
who
the
it was.
future and they knew that he got Parkinson's.
Right.
He was an asshole on set, right?
It was
Whoever
Eric.
it was.
It was Eric Stoltz. I don't know if you know who he is.
I
And-
do. I remember.
Yeah, and he
hearing
did.
this.
And if you, there's actually film out there where he's doing stuff with Crispin in the
Yeah.
looks down. I had him in
The
the scene
diner
with the
scene.
diner.
In the
Yeah,
diner.
there's multiple
Yeah.
scenes, and
He
then for
actually
some
fucked
reason,
his mom in the past, and they're
right?
like, no,
I don't think he was an asshole. I just think that for some reason, Spielberg wasn't enamored by him, and then got Michael J. Fox. And
I see. Yeah, I think and I might be wrong, but I remember reading, and this was a while ago, but I think there was some issue with him and other people on set. So he was having like
probably
back and forth with certain people, but I might be wrong there. But I
Yeah,
think
no.
that was how it was framed in what I was reading. Too.
it's just interesting that they had already cast him. He had started filming, and then they went somewhere else. And Michael J. Fox, who was big, I mean, but that was huge for him too. That was just, that was
That's
the first
an
movie I ever
interesting
saw
one.
in the theater.
Wow.
No shit.
Yeah, my family didn't go to movies, and then finally in high school, my freshman year, I went
Interesting.
snuck out, and then like no big deal.
Yeah, for me, I watched a lot of VHSs and rented DVDs, but I think the first movie I ever watched on at a theater was probably in Wasilla. Or no, you know what? It would have been down here in Seward at the old theater, and it would have been an old movie. So it would have been something from like the 90s, because they would put on old film.
I like how that's an old movie.
Yeah, I was like,
Well,
mine was something from
Back to the
90s.
Future was 85. With it. Oh,
Yeah,
it was Howard the
I think
Duck.
it was.
Yeah.
I want to say it was probably 12 or 13 years old the first time I went to a theater. It was down here, and it probably was Jackie Brown.
Oh,
whoa!
It was a Tarantino movie. I know it was a
I've seen
Tarantino
it, yeah.
movie because they were always showing the old Tarantinos in row. They would do them in succession.
Oh yeah, old, old. That old movie from the 90s.
that old, yeah. I remember that old one, Reservoir Dogs. He did too.
I just watched that like just a couple months ago. It was
Solid.
First one I saw was I was a kid. It had to have been one of those like animated Disney movies. You know, my mom took me and my sister to a couple of them. Yeah, it was probably like the
Pinocchio?
Lion King or some shit.
Lion King.
One of those.
I
90s
saw
ones,
the
yeah.
Lion King live off Broadway here. My dad wanted to get us tickets for us because he had just gotten an insurance settlement from getting hit from a drunk driver. And so with my older brother, they went and woke up at like 4 a.m. to go wait in line to get tickets at the door for that. And it turned out they ended up being the first ones there. So then this whole crowd piled up behind them. And so they got interviewed by the fucking news and a bunch of like random, like fucking bullshit, like signed stuff and stuffed animals and things like that. So I still have some of it. But it was, to be honest with you, Lion King Live, pretty fucking cool. Like I would, if as an adult now, I'd love to get stoned as shit and go watch the Lion King Live again. Like,
I'm sure they probably put on a good show. I don't know.
Oh, it was great. It was.
It's got that gay Elton John music in it and whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I grew up listening to that shit. 'Cause my
Circle
parents
of
were-
Life. Yeah. All right. Are we picking other losers here?
Well, we all
picked
picked one. We can
Tyler
do one
picked
more.
two.
We can end it here. Oh, Tyler already picked two. Okay, then you pick another
All
one real
of
quick.
Stranger
and then I'll
Things
do
and
both.
All right, mine.
I'll do one more.
I have to choose between a couple of them, but mine is going to be. So I'm going to throw this one out here. There are going to be two links that I'm going to do for this in the private chat. One is the article about what just happened, and then the other one is going to be a video that came out a while ago. So I'm choosing Stephon Diggs, New England Patriot wide receiver, who is now being accused of some sort of assault by his chef, female chef, while the Patriots are, about to play in the playoffs, and he is their best wide receiver.
Fuck the Patriots. Sorry, just had to get that out.
Yeah.
New court documents reveal Stephon Diggs, personal chef, alleges she was slap choked, thrown onto her bed over a pay dispute. The woman claims Diggs demanded she sign an NDA after the assault as a condition of further payment. So here's a tip for all you b-ballers and sports ball players out there. Don't do that.
Well, he's black,
You
so his
ask for the
IQ is
NDA
not high.
beforehand and not after. And and then the NDA also wouldn't protect against this because it's a crime. Like it
So-
kind of becomes a different thing.
Yeah, he's looking like he's going to be in some shit, and the NFL
No
is...
shit, yeah.
The NFL is probably going to have to do something about this. Otherwise...
I'm
also
gonna
these
read this text
these
here.
texts from him, yeah.
So this is the text here. Down having a texting match. You got it. Cool. Oh, the fucking grammar here is going to drive me nuts.
Right, so the person whose text messages these are is the chef, I believe.
Okay, so then I'm assuming this one here is going to be Diggs responding. You'll be paying me out for the season and the money you said you would give me for my business.
No, that's a chef.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wasted my fucking time being here because you got a fucking circus going on. I'm out of your life.
Right, and you can tell
Diggs
the other ones are Diggs because they're completely illegible.
I know, right? Yeah. So Now we're gonna get into what'll be painful to read. I won't be paying you shit. Fuck, I look like paying you and paying another chef, but he spelled chef. I want to point this out. XHEF. Is you high, bitch, with no H and no T? Who the fuck give you money for business? I don't gotta do motherfucking thing. You can get whoever you want. Got my address. Tell me, come take the money. Them fuck you talking about. Show me I'm pussy. That's the entirety of this text message. I'm not translating any of that. I'm just reading it how it's written.
Hey, put Charles's last message up on the screen.
Show me I'm pussy.
Which one?
No, in the chat.
Charles.
Oh.
His last comment in the chat.
Oh, sorry,
man.
sorry, I'm being dumb.
Yeah. Why do you need a chef to make Kool-Aid and
Jesus
macaroni
Christ.
with cut up hot dogs? Yeah.
So accurate, though.
All right, that payoff. I was, never mind.
That
was
is
funny.
true. Now,
that's a
there
great
is
payoff.
a follow-up to this. I'm posting it in the private chat right now. This is a video from when he was on the Minnesota Vikings years ago, which is interesting now that this information has come out.
Oh, yeah.
I think we probably...
I've seen that one.
I think we probably should have known already. There were signs, let's say. And I've quote tweeted this out as well. But this is a video in which, well, I don't know. If you just play it, you'll probably get the context of it.
Devin, what
Yeah.
guy on this team would you least like to date your sister?
What the hell? Diggs.
Why Diggs?
Man. No. We're going to leave it like that. No.
Okay, what guy on this team would you let date your sister?
It ain't you, B-Rob. You know that right now. It ain't you.
That's fine, because I'm actually married with 2 kids, so I'm unavailable.
They got to be out of Rudy or Thielen.
Rudy or Thielen? Why Rudy or Thielen?
They good guys, man.
What guy on this team would you least like to date your sister?
Oh, Stephon Diggs.
Why
Holy
Diggs?
shit,
He's
they're all
just
gonna say
crazy.
Stephon
He's
Diggs.
just
I've never seen this.
outrageous.
Insane.
Don't know what he's gonna say. Just don't know what to expect every day. So he couldn't date my
Well,
sister.
he might beat up his
What guy
chef
on this team
occasionally.
would you let date your sister?
Adam Thielen.
Why Adam?
I don't know.
You notice
He's
how
just a good guy.
they're all saying Adam
Same guy every
Thielen?
day.
They
You
would
know what
let.
you'll get from him,
Guess
so
guess what
I ain't got nothing to worry about.
race
He's
Adam
white.
Thielen
Give
is.
up
Yeah,
all
he is
money.
white.
Pull up.
Yes.
What guy on this team would you least like to date your sister?
I think I'm going to have to go with you, B-Rob,
Why me?
because we all know B-Rob, but most people don't know white chocolate.
What?
What guy on this team would you least like to date your sister?
Least I should date my sister, Diggs. 100%. Why Diggs?
There's Thielen
'Cause
himself
he's just-
saying it.
He's not a guy that you want to bring home to your parents. Like, you don't want your sister to bring him home to your parents, so therefore she can't date him.
What guy on this team would you least like to date your sister? And I might add, you're starting to be the runaway favorite for this.
I want me to date this. I'm a great guy. I'm actually a great guy.
There's actually seems to be a few guys that don't think that.
I feel differently about me.
Yeah.
They just don't know me well enough. That's what it is. Still. All right, who don't I want to date my sister? Weatherly.
Why Weatherly?
Because he's ugly. I knew that was coming. That was the problem.
I mean, you're 100% right. We all should have seen the writing on the wall here. Everybody gave the same motherfucking answer, except for one dude who was clearly joking.
And they were willing to say it in a microphone and in a camera. Just like, oh yeah, this motherfucker. Oh yeah.
not him, not that guy who's right over there. That's
crazy.
wild.
Yeah. Diggs is my second loser pick. Yeah.
Diggs is a great one. That's fucking great, especially for sports related stuff. I didn't want to do 2 political picks, but I'm going to because I was surprised this didn't get picked.
Please
this
be
week.
one of mine. I had 2 other options.
Well, I had 2 ways I could go with this one, but I'm gonna do Tim Walz.
That was one of mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy
So
one.
Waltz, what the fuck?
It has to happen though.
I mean, you like the video of him replacing the fucking the is it Minnesota state flag with the fucking Somali flag behind him while he's in the Zoom conference bullshit doing his thing. I mean, the amount of just I don't understand how he was picked to be a VP candidate just not that long ago is wild to me. But the guy is incapable of not putting his foot in his mouth. And honestly, like it seems like every opportunity he gets to say something that's going to fuck up whatever he's got going on, he does it, kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
it's very.
Yeah, like he presided over the George Floyd riots in Minnesota,
Right.
and he was governor then. And
I was gonna say this. People forget like how much shit this guy has stepped in. Like literally going back to 2019, 2020, this guy has been in the news for being a complete and utter fuck up.
Well, he's tampon Tim, he's demanding tampons in the boys' rooms in schools. Then he, I believe that he is connected to that political assassination that happened in Minnesota with that Minnesota congresswoman who you know what I'm talking about. She and her husband were murdered. It has Tim Walz's fingerprints written all over, and it happened right after because she was a Democrat, but she had like defected on one of the main like issues in the House and joined the Republicans on, and then all of a sudden she's dead. And everybody blamed Republicans for killing her.
There are 2 really weird ones that I'm researching right now. One of them is that case right there.
Yeah,
and
well, one of the person who was the killer, I think, had like ties to Tim Walz. Like he basically worked for him.
Well, he made statements after he went to jail too that he was like connected to Waltz and weird shit. There's a similar weird one with that guy running against Brandon Herrera in Texas, where his assistant was just like killed herself via setting herself on fire, like
self-immolation, very common.
Yeah, a real common way to take yourself out.
It's
weird
only for crazed leftists when they're doing it to make a political statement in front of the White House or whatever.
Yeah. And so I don't know. Waltz is one of those people where it's just like consecutive losses, and then leading up to this last couple days, where obviously we've got this random YouTuber who everybody keeps calling a journalist. My understanding is it's just like a YouTube guy. He's not like a journalist. I'm putting this in a light term, but this guy does.
But they call Brian Stelter a journalist.
Right. So, I also don't think he's a journalist. But
Stelter, by the way, Stelter is younger than I am, by the way.
That's fucking wild. I did not know that, but that is fucking wild.
I didn't even know what your age is.
Makes me feel good.
I bet it does.
No shit. Yeah, so I mean, I just
Jeffrey
look at it and go, okay, this guy goes and takes these videos, and him going up to all these daycare centers that are there in Wisconsin, going up to, or Minnesota,
yes.
whatever, Minnesota,
Same
going
name.
up to them, and being like, yeah, where are the kids? Where's the people? What's going on here? This is all this money's going to this, nothing's there. He's being told that he can't go anywhere in the buildings and stuff. And they're these giant farms, basically, where you'll have one of these buildings and then another one and then another one and then another one. And it's just a strip mall, basically, of this shit. So it is very wild, especially when you take into account the amount of money that's at play here and the amount of money that's actually flowing back and forth. And seemingly, Tim Walz's reaction to this, rather than coming out and saying, we fucked up, or we're going to cooperate with the feds, let them come in and deal with this problem or help us out, or he could have saved face in 1,000 different ways here that even would have satisfied some of the Democrats. And instead, he just basically went full bore. Fuck you, there's no fraud. The Somalians are fine. They're the best people we have, and eat my shorts, Trump. And that's been his whole attitude. And it's like, oh, you you're going to fall on this sword. This is the sword you're choosing to end your political career on. Because this is it. I mean, I don't see him getting reelected there or anywhere else for that matter.
Who knows? Like,
regardless of party, how does he get reelected? I don't think so.
Everything is surprised. I mean, he's been elected over and over. So
everything is corrupt. Yeah. So, and by the way,
that's true.
I've seen. I don't know if I tweeted it out, but there have been some videos circulating around about how it is Israel who are behind this daycare scam.
Oh, snap. Really? I just saw where HHS is like halting all payments to states with these daycare connections.
Well, I think, was it you?
Somalians aren't smart enough to do it.
Tyler, was it you I saw on Twitter pointing out some of the weirdness that people... Because I saw people saying basically that the way this was all working out was the funding part of it and everything, that Pam Bondi was going to arrest a bunch of people and put all this to an end and stuff. And then I saw that a lot of the people that she's talking about having prosecuted, that there's 94 people or whatever that I've seen the number get tossed around, that those are all people that were actually done in under 2024 when Biden was still in office, and it was under his DOJ and his FBI and all his people. And so you got Pam Bondi kind of just taking credit for it, being like, oh yeah, we arrested these people and indicted them. And it's like, no, you didn't. Like, that was the last guys. You're just
I didn't point that out, but I can imagine that.
Okay, it might have been another account, but yeah, that was something I saw getting pointed out that I did Google and was like, oh yeah, the dates don't line up on this. Like, all these people were prosecuted and put through the system before Trump was actually president. So you're kind of just taking credit when none of these people that have done what's been done over here with the fraud have been apprehended or caught. Nothing's been done so far about this. Yeah. Which, by the way, Pam Bondi, I mean, from a legal angle, an absolute abject fucking failure. I mean, I don't think she's done a single thing since she's basically been in office.
She held up the binder.
Well, I would disagrey. She set up the situation to hand out the binders, so you now know a bunch of losers, Posobiec, Emily, a bunch of Wheeler, a bunch of these losers that got them captured. She set them up, and they were all just a bunch of shills, and so I appreciate her for that. Yeah, otherwise she's a piece of shit.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's true. But yeah, that's my my second pick, Tim Walz.
All right.
Definitely big dummy, and I mean, has consistently just not made a good decision. Like, I mean, not a single one that I could point to and be like, oh, he readied the ship there or tried to. No, you fucked it all up, buddy. Like, kind of a secondary big loser, and this is why I said there was another way I could go with that, is the guy, the reporter, who reported the whole thing. And I'll explain. Because that guy won't get any real credit for this. All the credit is going to go to... Because the way the mainstream media reports on all this stuff is, they'll report about him talking about it for a minute, and then the story switches to their coverage of that same story. And so he'll just... I
don't know. His video got over 100 million views. He's been getting a lot of death threats, so...
That's a good sign.
Yeah, it's a good sign.
Legitimately, that you might have some staying power. Death threats seem to make you stick around a bit longer.
Oh, by the way, remember when Tim Walz was like trying to like be hip and pretend to be cool, and he played Madden with AOC? Remember that? And he said that AOC can call a mean pick six. Like, he clearly has he doesn't know anything about football. Oh my God.
I don't know. Brock Purdy called a pick six the other night.
Oh, yeah. I was not happy about that.
Anyway, sorry.
My 49ers play still hit, though, so there you go.
Oh, yeah. They were solid. My heart rate was up. I was pulling for them.
Yeah, so. Me too.
Well, yeah. All right. I think that's a good place to end it. We had a good show tonight. We went a little bit long anyhow, and all worked out in the end. New intro. We're gonna use that next week too, because that turned out okay.
I gave you a theme song, man.
Yeah, it was an accidental theme song.
I'll go back and watch it. So
no, I did it intentionally, but yeah. I mean, I did it as a joke just to make people in the chat laugh, but yeah.
Toad's been on fire with bidding.
Is that true?
All right.
Yeah,
Have you been doing good?
I'm lighting myself on fire.
Self-immolation.
He's very close from self-immolation. Yeah.
No, I've actually been really, really good for like 3 months. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Solid.
All right, there you go. New job.
Yeah, we
Thank
hit
you
on
for
Illinois
opening.
today as well.
I don't
Illinois
care.
Oh.
in the Music City Bowl, baby.
This is odd. This pen, I don't even know whose it is, but it's in my room. Can you read what that says?
Calm your tits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you just hand that to your wife? Like,
I don't know. I just was sitting on my desk. So maybe it's my
That's a
wife's.
fun pen.
you should, like, yeah. Whenever she's, acting up, just show it to her.
All right. Well, that's usually my job.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Deuces.
Thanks.
Oh, we're not plugging.